asked question that I get is how I wash my fleeces. So I started making a video, and I realized once the video was done that I left out some really important things. So I just wanted to talk about a couple of those. For one, you should never pour the dirty water off of your fleeces into a drain in your house. Don't pour it down the kitchen sink or the bathtub, wherever. You would not pour bacon grease down a drain. So it's the same principle. The lanolin, it is a grease, and once it cools, it solidifies, so it will clog your drains. Secondly, in the processing that I'm going to show you on my video, the new process that I'm doing, I always have to look ahead at the weather, because if you're going to have these fleeces sitting outside soaking, you don't want the weather to be below freezing, because you don't want the water to freeze. Also, the day that I'm ready to do my rinsing, to take them out and do the rinsing and get them started drying, I want the weather to be nice on that day as well, because I don't want to have my hands in water that's freezing. I mean, it'd just be too cold, and you do get a little bit wet, or I do. So look ahead at your weather. Let's see, another thing. So like today, I live in Arkansas. We can experience all 4 seasons in one day. And so we're fixing to have that today. It's been super warm. And now we've got this wind advisory. The wind's really starting to pick up, and we are fixing to cold fronts coming in. And so yesterday when I rinsed my fleeces, I rinsed them, but I was able to let them sit out for a little while to start the process, the drying process. And then I had to bring them in last night, and so now they're sitting under a fan. But just look ahead at your weather. I don't know what your weather is like where you live, but that's something that I have to take into consideration. So sit back and I'll show you my processing. Of course, the first thing you do after you shear is you skirt it. You're going to go around the edges. You're going to pick off all the poop tags, because sometimes, if there's just a little bit of soiling, it's okay. That'll come clean. I do believe that you can salvage that. But if it's a pretty saturated tag with poop, just pull that off. I don't think there's any reason in trying to save that. So you're going to skirt it. You're going to get as much as the hay bits out of it as you can, but you can't get it all out. And more hay and vegetable matter is going to come out while you're processing, while you're carding, while you're combing, and even when you're spinning, you can pull out little bits. So don't spend hours and hours and hours. Just do the best you can, get out the biggest portions of it. And then this is how I have started processing my fleeces. This is called the suet method. Now, let me tell you that there's lots of different ways that you can process fleece, and I've done it some different ways. This is just my preferred method now. It's much easier. I am fortunate enough, I have started using cattle mineral tubs or protein tubs. My dad is a cattle farmer, and he has a lot of these laying around, and so I have a couple of these that I use. One reason that I love these is because they also have a lid. So when you're doing your suet method, you're going to want to cover it, because we're actually going to be leaving it for several days. You can leave it for up to a week. This particular fleece that's in here that we're going to look at has been in here for 5 days. It's deep enough. You can get the tubs for sheep, the protein tubs or mineral tubs for sheep, but they're about half this size, and I just like this size better because a sheep fleece can be rather large. So in addition to having the tub, I'm using chicken wire. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to get you a close-up of it. And again, we're going to pretend like this still has water in it, okay? So this is my chicken wire. And what I did is I cut off a piece, and it still needs a little bit of trimming, but I can actually get a hold of it like this, so I don't want to trim too much of it off. But I shove the chicken wire down in here to the bottom, try to get it as close to the bottom as possible. That way when I put my fleece in here, I'm only having to fill my water level to just right above the fleece. So you want to push the wire down in there as far as you can. The reason for the wire is because, as you can see, I can get a hold of it, I can lift it up, and then the fleece can drip. Okay, So, like I said a while ago, I forgot and I already dumped the water off of this, but this was full of water. It's had the lid on for 5 days, and now what I'm going to do is rinse. Again, this is warm water.